original.
Hello, and welcome to Webcrawlers, the podcast where we do a deep dive into some of our favorite mysteries. Each week, we will introduce our topic, lay out our research and findings, reveal some conspiracy theories, and conclude with our own hypothesis. I'm Allie Siegel.
I'm Melissa Stetton.
And where in the world is producer Maria?
We got another song.
It like literally sounds like, I thought it was Coldplay or something, or Mumford & Sons. It's so good.
It's the same dude who sent us a song like a year ago that we were playing for the intro for a while. Web crawlers, do.
It's so
there
good.
It is.
No one here believes us. Heard you got lost in the dark web or Pangea. We all miss you and wish again to see you.
Sounds like dinosaurs.
Wow.
What a
haunting.
And you know who it's at? It's like it's very like 2004. It's like the Shins, like
The Shins.
it's very the Shins like.
It's very Garden State soundtrack.
Yeah, I mean, yes, we should redo the Garden State soundtrack with just songs about Maria.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for that.
That's amazing.
Yes. Melissa, who are our patrons for this week?
We have Savannah, Siobhan, McKenna, Rachel, and Colby.
And guys, it's finally happening. We actually have some interviews coming up with John Tenney, some amazing witches who are
witches.
published authors. I'm going to mispronounce his last name because I don't know how to pronounce it. I have to ask him. Matt Arn. He's the author of Psychic Witch, who is one of my favorite books. He's going to come on.
Ooh.
Devin Hunter, another incredible witch. My friend September West is going to come on to talk about like Nostradamus, the apocalypse, the earth shift.
That's a great name, September West.
I know. Isn't that incredible? Writer John Reinman has a new podcast coming out on iHeartRadio about WWE wrestlers. And he's going to come on.
Ooh.
Yeah, and he's going to come on and talk about different paranormal wrestlers. So wrestlers with...
What's a paranormal wrestler?
Wrestlers with paranormal names.
Oh.
So I don't know a lot about...
All I know about wrestling is PWG.
Oh my God, we love PWG. I don't know any
wrestlers.
like the Undertaker, for example.
Oh.
The Samoan Ghost is another one. So
That's interesting.
Boogeyman, Doink the Clown. So we'll be talking about
Doink the Clown.
Yes. So we'll be talking about creepy WWE stars. So that's all coming on our Patreon soon. Sorry for the delay, but sometimes good things happen to those who wait. Did I already ask you who the patrons were?
Yes, you did.
Wow. All right. Yeah. One of those days, baby. Okay, guys, welcome to the team. Melissa, what is our episode about today? I don't know what it is, so it's going to be a surprise to me.
Well, so we got an email a few weeks ago. Maybe it was 1 week. Who knows? Time's a flat circle.
Time's a flat circle.
It says, honk honk ladies. I'm a longtime bimbo of web crawlers, and I just realized I should suggest an episode topic after all these years. I grew up in the D.C. area, specifically Wheaton, Maryland. My parents were acquainted with the parents of the Lyon sisters. Have you ever heard of the disappearance of Katherine and Sheila Lyon?
Okay, crazy synchronicity before we get into that.
Uh-oh.
A documentary about them just popped up on Hulu this morning.
Are you serious?
No, and I almost watched it this morning while I was cleaning my house.
No fucking way.
That is, hold on, I have to Google. Hold on. I just need to make sure I'm right. Lyon sisters.
Is it new? Because I didn't see one.
Yes.
Whoa.
Who Killed the Lyon Sisters? Documentary. Who Killed the Lyon Sisters documentary special coming to ID. And I think it got released like today.
That's insane.
Wild.
So weird. Because I saw some documentaries, but I did not see one on Hulu or Investigation.
I saw
Discovery.
it on, but I also have Hulu Live. So do you?
I don't know.
All right. Anyways, sorry. I digress. I digress. Continue.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Okay, so this happened in 1975, and the case only recently had some level of closure in 2019. The email says, I guarantee any kids who grew up in the D.C., Montgomery, Maryland area between 1975 and 1990 can quickly recall this case only because everyone's parents suddenly got super paranoid during the investigation. Just Google the Lyon sisters. You'll find the whole horrible wormhole. If you ever do cover this story, I'd respectfully ask you keep my name anonymous.
Okay.
With much appreciation and la-la-las, anonymous.
Anonymous. Oh, wow. Well, I'm excited.
Yeah, the anonymous.
The anonymous. Yeah, the anonymous. It's Natalie Portman.
Yes. And I found another quick story that I'll talk about at the end that is very Sherry Papini-esque that I found while looking up kidnappings. Okay, so Katherine and Sheila Lyon, they're aged 10 and 12. They were sisters who disappeared without a trace.
Oh, God.
During a March 25th, 1975 trip to a shopping mall in the Washington, D.C. suburb of Wheaton, Maryland. They're known as the Lyon sisters. And their case resulted in one of the largest police investigations in Washington metropolitan area history.
Gosh.
And the case remained unsolved for 38 years until 2013, when a team of cold case investigators with the Montgomery County Police made a break in the case. Oof. So what happened to these sisters?
Let's get into it.
Okay, the two sisters were born to John and Mary Lyon in Kensington, Maryland. They had an older brother, Jay. Their father, John, was a well-known radio personality at WMAL, a local radio station. That's my radio voice, see?
It's me, John Lyon, with WMAL, with the Weather Report.
WMAL.
Yeah.
So located a half mile from their home was Wheaton Plaza Shopping Mall, which is now Westfield Wheaton.
Wow. God, Westfield's everywhere.
And then on March 25th, 1975, Katherine and Sheila walked to the mall to see the Easter exhibits. Oh. It was their spring vacation, and they were going to have lunch at the Orange Bowl, a pizza restaurant in the mall. That's no Sbarro's.
No Sbarro.
So they left home between 11 a.m. and noon. Their mother told them to come home by 4 p.m., and when they didn't come home by 7 p.m., they called the police. There was a search. So the timeline was between 11 a.m. and noon, the girls leave. At 1 o'clock, a neighborhood child sees them together outside the Orange Bowl talking to an unidentified man.
Uh-oh.
At 2 p.m., the two girls' older brother sees them at the Orange Bowl eating pizza. And then between 2:30 and 3, a friend sees the girls walking westward down a street near the mall. which would have been one of the most direct routes from the mall to their home.
Okay.
So assuming they were on their way home. And then at 4 o'clock, the curfew passes that they're supposed to be home. And 7 o'clock, they call the police. And then the investigation starts. And like their disappearance was featured in like all sorts of high profile stories in the national media for months. So the police were told by witnesses that the sisters were in the Wheaton Plaza Mall at around 1 o'clock. And then a neighborhood boy saw them together eating, talking to an unidentified man who he said was about 6 feet tall, 50 to 60 years old, wearing a brown suit.
Brown suit? That's insane.
Is it Paul F. Tompkins?
Yeah.
The man was carrying a briefcase with a tape recorder inside. This is like
What?
This is 75. So this is like...
Okay, I guess that makes
imagine
more
like
sense.
A 70s,
Yeah.
brown suit.
Yeah, with a briefcase and tape recorder.
With bell bottoms.
Yeah.
There were also other children around who were speaking into a microphone he was holding. It's weird. The witness's description of the man led authorities to view the unknown person as the prime suspect in this case. And then they had composite sketches created. So then the police followed up on reports from several people who said they recognized the sketch of the man. They said that a man matching the sketch was seen a few weeks earlier at the Marlow Heights Shopping Center and in Iverson Mall, both in Prince George County, Maryland. So people are like, yeah, I've seen this dude around at different malls.
Yeah, he seems hard to miss if he's in a brown suit with a microphone interviewing children.
Hey, what do you have for lunch today, kid?
Yeah.
These people reported that he had approached several young girls and asked them to read an answering machine message typed on an index card into his handheld microphone.
This is the most fucked up thing I've ever heard. This is single-handedly this is the most fucked up thing I've ever heard.
The police never publicly acknowledged a direct link between these reports and the Lyon sisters' disappearance, though, which is weird. So after the disappearance, a friend of the Lyon sisters, who was like in their age range, described to detectives how a long-haired man at the mall had stared at the girl so long that she confronted him. I was like, what the fuck are you staring at?
Whoa.
And so a sketch artist made a drawing based on her description. She said this dude was white, late teens or early 20s, had acne, scars on his left cheek, shabbily dressed. But then that sketch was like, they kind of were like, oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
We don't think that's real. It's who knows.
Interesting.
And the description from the sister's friend was totally different from that 50-year-old man in the brown
it's a
suit.
different person for sure, yeah.
So they're like, I don't know. We don't really know what to do with this. So weeks went by. There were volunteer groups going through like vacant lots. They were just looking everywhere for them. And then on May 23rd, 2 months later, the Maryland Lieutenant Governor Blair Lee ordered 122 National Guardsmen to participate in a search of a Montgomery County forest for the missing girls, but no trace of the girls was found.
Jesus.
Nothing.
God.
So then there's a couple of false leads. So on April 7th, 1975, about 2 weeks after their disappearance, a witness in Virginia reported seeing the two girls in the rear of a beige 1968 Ford station wagon.
Huh.
This witness said the girls were bound and gagged in the vehicle,
Oh, God.
and the driver of the station wagon resembled the man in the sketch of the prime suspect.
The brown suit guy or the acne dude?
Yeah, the brown suit guy.
Okay.
So then the witness further said that when the driver spotted the witness tailing him, he ran a red light and like sped off onto Interstate 66.
Shady.
And they got the station wagon's license plate with the possible combination of DMT6. Maybe this guy loved DMT.
Yeah.
So the combination was issued in Cumberland, Hagerstown, and Baltimore, Maryland at the time. So they knew that the car was like local.
Yeah.
So this sighting inspired a small army of mobile citizen band CB radio users
Nice.
to scour the area. but no one found anything.
Fuck.
They tried to find a license plate with the matching numbers, but they didn't find anything. So the disappearance generated calls from psychics, extortionists.
Not surprising.
Several phone calls from people claiming to have the girls, offering to exchange them for ransom money were made.
God.
That's the saddest thing about like missing people is when people try to take advantage of other people. Be like, I have your kids. Give me $500,000. Like, what are you supposed to do?
It happens all the time with missing pets. Like my friend, her dog went missing and she got so many calls of like, I have your dog. Like if you come, give me $500, you'll get your dog. And they were all,
oh my God.
They were all scams. I would lose my mind. You have to be an evil person to do that.
That's so awful.
Yeah, it's horrible.
So yeah, there was one anonymous male caller who's demanded John Lyon, the father, leave a briefcase with $10,000 inside an Annapolis, Maryland courthouse restroom. So John put $101 in the briefcase, directed by law enforcement officials because it would make the crime a felony.
Oh, interesting.
But the briefcase was never claimed.
Why? Also, like, if you were trying to get a ransom, why would you do it at the courthouse? There's so many cops there.
Yeah, what are you doing?
Yeah, I would
like
just...
the courthouse bathroom? Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, I would just be a cop waiting in the bathroom for someone to pick up the briefcase and then arrest them. What a dunce.
And then the same anonymous person called John Lyon later and said that there were too many police around the courthouse. He could not retrieve the ransom. And no duh.
Yeah, no duh. What a loser. What a dork. I want to cyberbully that guy. What a schmuck.
What an idiot. Meet me at the police station.
Yeah.
No cops around.
What a fucking loser.
So John Lyon said he would have to hear the girls' voices before he would do anything else.
Okay, that's smart.
And this person never contacted him again.
Yeah, it was a scammer. A bad scammer at that.
And then Lloyd Welch reported seeing the girls and a man to a mall guard a week after the disappearance. So he went and like gave a statement, but he was given a lie detector test. He failed on most of his answers, and he and his report were disregarded.
Oh God!
So this guy came in a week after and was like, "Oh, I saw them," but they were like, "No, probably not."
Jesus.
So then there's some suspects. So Fred Howard Coffey was convicted in 1987 for the beating, strangulation, murder, and molestation of a 10-year-old girl in North Carolina.
Yikes.
And he's serving a life sentence in a North Carolina prison. So the authorities learned that he interviewed for a job in Silver Spring, Maryland, 6 days after the Lyon sisters vanished.
God.
Which is like close by Wheaton Plaza. But they were never able to like connect him to any of the disappearances or anything. So they're like, okay, we have nothing to connect this guy on.
How was he convicted? And
Convicted in 1987.
Oh, got it. Okay.
And these girls disappeared in 75.
Copy that. Okay, got it.
And then there was Raymond Rudolph Molesky Sr. was another suspect. He lived in Maryland, not far from where this mall was. And he had reported seeing a man with a microphone approaching young girls.
Oh, God.
But 2 years later, he murdered his wife and teenage son in 1977. He was convicted of the homicides and sentenced to 4 years in prison.
Well, unreliable witness alert.
Yeah, unreliable. There was like prison informants' tips, and he claims to know something about the Lyon sisters. And he offered to exchange more information for like more favorable prison conditions.
Yeah, I'm sure.
But then they've searched his former residence and they found no evidence. And then he ended up dying in 2004.
Oh. Now, let's take a quick break for announcements. Webcrawlers has a Patreon. To get access to rewards, bonus episodes, shout outs, please go to patreon.com/webcrawlers. You can donate as little as $2 a month to become a patron. Crazy.
It's like a cup of coffee.
Yes. Also, please rate and review us on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. If you give us a 5-star review, we will shout you out and read it. Also, Erios has a hotline. Insert jingle here.
626-604-6262.
For the quality, not quantity contest.
We've got the longest voicemail ever, and no one will ever beat it.
Yes.
And you know what? That's fine.
People loving that voicemail on the Discord.
People are into that voicemail. They're like, it wasn't like, long and boring. It was like pretty interesting. And everyone's like, is that guy Australian? Like, it's a mystery.
Yeah, they were astonished by the accent work on that. So please continue to call us and we will play them on our mailbag episodes. Now back to the program.
But now back to Lloyd Welch.
Lloyd.
The guy who a week after claimed he's like, yeah, I saw a guy talking to him. The same day that the newspapers printed a description of the man in the brown suit carrying a briefcase, he returned to the mall and told the security guard he had evidence for the case. So he knew the description already of the person.
Huh.
So he's like, yeah, I saw that man with a tape recorder talking to two girls and later forcing them in a car.
Shit.
But like this was because he's read it in the newspaper.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, I saw him. So the investigators went to the mall and then they met Lloyd Welch. They took him to a police station. They interviewed him. They gave him a polygraph test again. And then he failed it. He admitted that he provided false information about witnessing the abduction. He's like, oh yeah, I lied about seeing the abduction. And the police let him go.
What is wrong with people?
They're like, this guy's a wackadoo. We're just gonna leave him, let him go.
But that's isn't lying to the cops illegal? Like providing false information or whatever?
Yeah.
Weird.
But they let him go. And then a one-page report was typed up and placed on top of the transcript of the interview with the word lied written on top. Lied.
Thorough. Wow.
So then for more than 38 years, the information about Lloyd's possible involvement in the case was accessible only via search of police records. God. So this wasn't a public thing. This wasn't like Lloyd Welch came in. This was if you were really searching the case, you had to look up Lloyd's name. So then over these years, 30 years, a bunch of detectives worked on the case and a bunch of them retired. And the Sergeant Chris Hamrock, after years of reviewing all the details, he came across Lloyd Welch's statement.
Huh.
He's like, oh, what's this? He noticed the mugshot of Lloyd roughly matched the police sketch created 38 years ago from that girl who was like, I saw a 20-year-old scraggly acne covered guy staring at these girls. So this detective was like, why did no one ever look into this?
Yeah.
So this detective, Chris Hamrock, he was like, well, he at least witnessed the crime for sure because he had described the limp of Ray Molesky, who was another guy who was there. Detective Hamrock, he learned that Lloyd had since been convicted of child molestation.
Come on.
So detectives began working from this new angle, and then they did background work, and they were going to interview Lloyd. They're like, this might be the guy. We got to interview him. So in 2013, they had their first interview with Lloyd Welch. And they were worried. They're like, this guy's not going to talk to us. But on the first day, he just talked to them for hours and hours.
Oh, this guy's so gross.
The first words out of his mouth were, I know why you're here. You're here about those two missing kids. Why?
That's so creepy.
Oh, I know why you're here. It's those two girls.
Yeah, those two girls I molested and killed a few years ago, right?
Yeah. So after a full day of interrogation, he let slip something that caught the detective's attention. So this police squad had been working on the assumption that Lloyd had witnessed or possibly assisted in the girl's abduction by a pedophile named Ray Molesky. They're like, okay, he must have had something to do with it. It must be this guy named Ray. And then at the end of the session, Dave, one of the detectives, made a final stab at getting Lloyd to reveal something. He said, all right, I think we're pretty much done. But what I wanted to ask, your opinion only, what do you think Ray Molesky did to those girls? And then Lloyd said, personally? He's like, well, my opinion is that he killed them and raped them, and then he probably burned them. I don't know. And then, like, in the other room, the two other detectives looked at each other and they're like, burned them? Like, no one ever said anything about them being burned.
Yeah.
Like, why would he say burn? Like, that's unusual.
Also, he said that he said killed and raped them. So the assumption is that he killed them first and then had sex with them?
Oh, no. Oh, dear. So he eventually admitted that he helped kidnap the girls, but he said the crime had been planned and carried out by other people in his family. He said it was his cousin. Then he said it was his uncle. Then he said it was his dad, who he said abused him sexually as a child. So he was just like, well, it was my cousin. No, it was my uncle.
Oh, God.
No, it's my dad.
Fun family.
And Lloyd's cousin, Henry Parker, he told detectives in 2014 that in 1975, he met Lloyd at a property in Thaxton, Virginia. Henry said he helped Lloyd remove 2 Army-style duffel bags from Lloyd's vehicle. Each bag weighed about 60 or 70 pounds.
Oh, no.
And smelled like death.
Oh, God.
And according to a search warrant, Henry said the bags had been covered in red stains.
Come on.
And without knowing their contents, he threw the bags into a fire.
What did he think were in those bags? I mean,
he probably knew.
and just didn't care.
It was like, okay, Lloyd.
Lloyd's at it again.
So then in February 2014, Lloyd was openly named as a person of interest. And police said Lloyd was 18 years old at the time.
Makes sense.
When he matched that description from that girl. And he since has been convicted of rapes in three other states.
Oh my God.
So yeah. And then a new lead was discovered in September 2014. The police searched the woods of Thaxton, Virginia, and they found a house in Hyattsville, Maryland. They looked around and like took some items. That home was Lloyd's parents' house. And he had lived in the basement.
Not a surprise.
Of course.
Yeah.
And although the evidence was like too damaged for DNA, one of the rooms in the basement had significant evidence of blood.
Oh, God.
They used luminol to like, and one of the detectives used the word slaughtered to describe the scene. Like there was just blood everywhere in this room.
Jesus Christ.
Even like 30 years later. So then in 2015, Lloyd was already in prison serving a sentence for a child molestation conviction. He was indicted on first-degree felony murder for his involvement in the deaths of Katherine and Sheila Lyon. He was also charged with abduction with intent to defile. And then the location of any remains of the girls' bodies is still unknown.
Oh, God. So sad.
But had Lloyd been brought to trial without the girls' bodies entered into evidence, it would have taken the longest time to have elapsed between a murder and a trial and a bodiless murder conviction.
Oh, wow.
So it was 38 years.
Wow, that's
with
crazy.
No bodies.
Jesus.
So then in September 2017, he eventually pleaded guilty to 2 counts of first-degree murder for abduction and killing. He received 2 48-year sentences and 2 counts of first-degree felony murder. And so he's in jail.
At least there's some closure for the family, even though, they haven't found the bodies, but at least they know now there's some sort of resolution. It's a devastating resolution, but oh gosh, how crazy.
Nuts. And then, so I was looking up like kidnapping stats and
that's fun.
and I found this Daily Beast story.
Oh, God.
It says Sonoma influencer Katie Sorensen charged with false kidnapping claim against the Latino couple Eduardo and Sadie Martinez. And this was just written up in Elle magazine like a few days ago.
Ooh, Elle.
Yes.
Ooh la la.
But I found this article from last year on the Daily Beast. This crazy woman, very Sherry Papini-esque. So this woman, Katie, went viral last December after saying a couple who didn't look necessarily clean cut attempted to snatch her kids from a craft store.
Oh, no.
She went viral in December 2020 after accusing a Latino couple of attempting to kidnap her kids in a Petaluma craft store and has been charged with giving false information to police. So she made this video.
Oh, no.
And posted it on Twitter.
She's white?
She's white and blonde and blue-eyed.
I knew this was a Karen situation. This is a real Karen situation.
Children were the targets of attempted kidnap.
That's Katie Sorensen sounding a startling warning on Instagram about strangers trying to grab her kids.
And I want to share that story with you in an effort to raise awareness.
Sorensen says it happened December 7th at this Michael store in Petaluma as she was shopping with her 4-year-old son and 1-year-old daughter. She says a man and a woman followed them in the store. The same man had looked at her in the parking lot. She then heard them describing what her kids looked like, possibly to a third person on the phone.
I heard them talking about the features of my children. But I was totally paralyzed with fear. I just couldn't bring myself to say anything.
They waited in line behind her, but then followed her into the parking lot after not buying anything. That's when she noticed a white van had parked right next to her SUV. She thought that was strange because she usually parks far from a store entrance, not wanting to inconvenience people over the time it takes to load or unload her stroller.
Shut up.
She says the man and woman took 2 steps forward, then 2 steps back.
2 steps back, very awkward. There is no other explanation as to why they were doing that besides they were just building the courage.
Then the man reached out, asked her to grab the stroller, but Sorensen saw an older man nearby.
The gentleman looked at me and his eyes were huge. He saw what was going on and I just yelled for help.
The man and woman took off in the car, but that's when another man rushed up to her from behind after apparently getting out of the white van.
And he kind of acted like he was trying to help me and then just got in the van and drove off.
Sorensen wishes she had been more assertive.
I saw these people. They didn't look necessarily clean cut. I felt uncomfortable around them. And instead of making them uncomfortable with my discomfort, I chose to remain in my discomfort.
This mom learned a very important lesson.
Child safety advocate Mark Klass's daughter Polly was kidnapped in Petaluma and killed in 1993.
What she learned was that she does have to trust her feelings, that she does need to be at the ready, and that she does need some kind of a plan of action.
Petaluma police tell me they are investigating, but that so far they have no evidence to arrest anyone for attempted kidnapping. The Michael store had no comment.
Even her story just sounds like there were 2 people behind her and then they decided not to buy anything and then they happened to be parked near her. And because they were like
video,
Hispanic, she freaked out.
Yeah. It got 2 million views.
Oh my God.
She accused, it was Eduardo and Sadie Martinez, who have 5 kids of their own.
Jesus Christ.
And she was on Instagram as an account called Motherhood Essentials. She was like a momfluencer.
I hate momfluencers.
Ugh, momfluencers. She's like, Monday of this week, my children were targets of attempted kidnapping. But it happened, and I want to share the story with you in an effort to raise awareness as to what signs to look for and just to encourage parents to be more aware of their surroundings and what's going on around them. So then the police released a CCTV image of the couple and asked for witnesses to come forward. They're like, does anybody know these people?
Oh my God.
And then someone sent it to Sadie, was like, is this you? And she's like, yeah, that's me and my husband. And she like went to the police and like she did a press conference. She's like, I couldn't believe it. It's like we're literally guilty of being brown while shopping.
Yeah, 100%.
And so she said, do you really think it's okay to go online and be racist and make stories up about a family? It's hard enough to be a Latin family in a white community.
Oh my God.
She's like, to get up and go shopping one day and be accused of trying to abduct somebody's children is heartbreaking.
Oh.
So she said on December 7th, Sadie, who's a mother of 5, went with her husband to the Michael's craft store. She wanted to buy stuff to complete a nativity scene for her Christmas table.
This is so sad.
So they were like going through the aisles. And Sadie's like, I didn't even notice this like blonde hair, blue-eyed mom pushing a double stroller.
But you're not the center of the world, you dumb bitch. Like,
she's like, we didn't know she existed or anything. So Katie's Instagram, Motherhood Essentials, was like this just typical mom blog. She posted about kids, clean beauty, the benefits of CBD.
Oh, all right. I do like CBD.
She had 6,000 followers. She was like a verified Amazon influencer. And she launched a collection of baby bibs with sew-in essential oil diffuser pads.
I hate her.
She was also selling essential oils from doTERRA, which is like the MLM.
Okay, yes. She's this is a Lululemon mom.
She's the Lululemon mom.
Yeah.
And she would also post stuff like with the hashtag Save the Children.
Well, because
which is like
QAnon. I was going to
stuff.
say this is textbook QAnon where they think everyone's a pedophile.
So I was looking up like kidnapping stats. I'm like, what are the kidnapping stats?
I can't
Like,
wait
what
for
is
the
real?
police to check your search history, and it's going to be like kidnapping stats, sex trafficking of children, how to murder someone.
How to murder someone and get away with it. But apparently kidnapping rarely involves strangers.
Yeah.
Forcing kids into like white vans.
It's probably a lot of custody stuff.
Yeah. According to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, there's 29,782 missing children cases, and only 79 were non-family abductions.
People are so I remember when I was in elementary school, this girl, she was quote unquote abducted. Her mom took her. Her family was divorced. Her parents were divorced, and her mom took her to another country. And and that's counted as kidnapping.
Yeah. It's any custody disagreement where like they don't drop the kids off in time, like that's kidnapping.
Yeah, people don't realize that.
So Sadie Martinez, she started a hashtag prosecute Katie because she's like, fuck this woman for racial profiling.
I'm going to start using
me.
that every time I tweet.
Prosecute Katie. And then Sadie ended up being appointed to Petaluma's advisory panel on policing and race relations.
Fuck yes. This has a happy ending. I love that.
Yeah, hell yeah, Sadie.
Yeah, I'm going to appoint Sadie is what I'm actually the hashtag I'm going to
appoint Sadie.
Appoint Sadie.
And then, so Katie's Instagram account, Motherhood Essentials, was changed to Motherhood Essentials _
Is she still? Oh,
and it's private.
God damn it.
I added her.
Did she accept you?
Let me see.
You're verified, so she probably.
No, I'm still says requested. Still says
Fuck,
requested,
she hasn't. When did you?
Yesterday.
Oh yeah, maybe she hasn't logged on yet.
But then Katie's mother launched a GoFundMe campaign to raise $50,000 for her daughter's defense case.
What a loser!
And to date, the GoFundMe has raised $2,300.
Are you? Oh my god!
And her trial is next month. It's in May.
We should
So
go to it.
Yeah, let's go to Petaluma.
God,
Drive to Petaluma.
what an idiot! I hate her. What a dork.
What a dork.
What a dork. Well, crazy.
Those are kidnapping cases.
Those are some kidnapping crazies. Those are some kidnapping crazies. Kidnapping crazies. Melissa, if anyone has any stories like that or cases, cold cases that finally got solved that they want to tell us about, where can they reach us?
You can email us at webcrawlerspod@gmail.com.
All right. Well, I am Allie, Amazon influencer Siegel.
I'm Melissa, essential oil influencer Stetton.
Yes, you are. All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.
An Erios original.
Powered by Acast.